Hello everyone. So we are having series of lectures of trigonometry, right? That we have started from basic to advanced. So in the last video, what we have learned is that the information about the allied angles, right? In this video, we are going to attempt some questions based on that allied angle. So first of all, we will have the recap on that previous video. So what we have learned so far. So in the previous video we have learned the angle associated with the positive direction of x-axis, with the positive direction of y-axis, with the negative direction of x-axis, with the negative direction of y-axis, right? So in the positive direction of x-axis the angles were 0, 2 pi, 4 pi, 6 pi and so on. This means any even pi, right? And in the negative direction of x-axis the angles were like pi, 3 pi, 5 pi and so on. And in the negative direction of y-axis the angles was like 3 pi by 2, 7 pi by 2, and in the positive direction of y-axis the angles was like pi by 2, 5 pi by 2 and 9 pi by 2. So these were the angles associated with the positive direction of x-axis, y-axis, negative direction of x-axis, y-axis. Now in this video we have to learn how to find the angle of particular trigonometric value of angle of particular trigonometric ratio for a particular angle. So the angle of allied angle of these sections means 0, 2 pi, 4 pi. It will be like this: 0 plus theta, 2 pi plus theta and 4 pi plus theta and 6 pi plus theta. So these are the angle allied to this, right? If we subtract theta from these angles, so we will get pi 0 minus theta, 0 minus theta, 2 pi minus theta, 4 pi minus theta and so on. So these are the allied angle which ultimately falls on the fourth quadrant, because we have subtracted some value of theta from these angles, and if we add them up some theta, so that we will land on the first quadrant. Similarly, if this is pi by 2, if we add something, so we will land on this second quadrant. If we subtract something, so we will land on the first quadrant, and same thing happens in this in these are the angles pi, 3 pi and 5 pi by 5 pi, and same will happen in these angles. So this we have done in the previous video, right? And what we have learned previous to previous video, we have learned how to get the value of sine 30. I provide a table, so that table you need to remember. We have got a value of sine 30 or cos 30 or any trigonometric ratio 30 degree, right? 30 degree, 45 degree, 60 degree and 90 degree as well. So in this video what we are going to learn the questions based on these questions based on the these allied angles. So for example, if you are supposed to find out the value of 5 pi by 3, and also in the sum of the video I told you the angle measurement. What was that? The angle measurement, degree measurement and radian measurement, and in this the angle is written in the radian measurement, right? And we are supposed to find out the value of this sine pi by 3. So what will we have to do? We have to do like, we have to express this in some of the allied angles, right? We have seen the allied angles. For example, this is allied angle of this pi will be pi minus theta or pi plus theta. Pi minus theta will be on the second quadrant and pi plus theta will be on the third quadrant, right? So we have to express this angle, this 5 pi by 3, in some of the allied angle, right? Basic format, right? Basic or standard format I can say. So we can write we can write here 2 pi minus pi by 3. 2 pi minus pi by 3. This means what? What is the 2 pi is associated with positive direction of x-axis, right? Can you see it here? This 2 pi associated with the positive direction of x-axis, and we are subtracting something. It is 2 pi minus. So we are subtracting. This means what? This means we will land up in the 2 pi here, right? and we are subtracting something, so we will land up in the fourth quadrant, 2 pi by 3. So we are landing where? On the fourth quadrant. And we have learned also in the fourth quadrant cos or sec are positive. Which trigonometric ratios are positive? That is cos and sec. Here it is sine, right? So it will be negative. So it is minus sine pi by 3. Right? And you know what is sine pi by 3? Pi means 180 degree. Pi by 3 means 60. So sine 60 is nothing but 1 by root 3. So it is minus there. So minus root 3 by 2. So this is what is the answer. Right? Similarly, what we have to do? We have to do in the same logic in this question as well. So you can write here sine 17 pi plus 0 or minus 0, or don't write anything, right? Is it? It is this itself is an angle which is associated with negative direction of x-axis. Can you see it? Here it was pi, 3 pi, 5 pi, 7 pi. All odd pi will be on the angle associated on the negative direction of x-axis. So it is 17 pi. So sine any pi is 0. Sine any pi is 0 means what? You place any number pi, it is always 0. Please remember this thing, where n belongs to the integers. If n belongs to integers, then sine any pi, sine 1 pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, 4 pi, 17 pi, 100 pi, always it is 0. So there is nothing in the question. Now let us move to the next question. So now again we are having 11 pi by 6. So we have to break this into the allied angles. So we can write 2 pi minus pi by 6. Again it is the allied angle of positive direction of x-axis, and we are subtracting something, so we will land up on the fourth quadrant. So this means what? In the fourth quadrant tan is negative, so it is tan pi by 6. Tan pi by 6 means tan 30 degree. 30 degree means 1 by root 3, that is 1 by root 3. So this is what we have got, the value of 11 pi by 6. Right? And in this case, when there is a minus before the angle, so you always apply the rule for the fourth quadrant. Can you see the fourth quadrant? There was it is 0 on the x-axis, and if we minus something, so we will land up in the fourth quadrant. So you always apply for minus angle, right? You always apply the rules associated on the fourth quadrant, associated with the fourth quadrant. So in the fourth quadrant, cos is negative. So this cos is positive. So this is going to happen that it will be cos 25 pi by 4. Now what will you do? Now you will change this angle into sum of the allied angle, whatever there in the standard format, right? So we can write this cos, we can write this 6 pi plus pi by 4. Right, now 6 pi is the allied angle associated with the positive direction of x-axis, and we are adding something, so we will land up in the first quadrant. This means you will get in the first quadrant all trigonometric ratios are positive. So this means it is going to happen that cos pi by 4, and what is the value of cos pi by 4? That is 1 by root 2. This is what is the logic behind this. Right? So this way, now you might be thinking that how we will get to know that we can change this angle to this, right? This is what is the question. This you will learn, the more you practice, the better you remember, right? We have to change. The only thing is that we have the idea that we have some allied angles. In those allied angles, these angles has to be changed, right? Now let us move to the next slide. So now again we are having this question. So what can we write here? It can be written like this: cos 3 pi plus pi by 6. Can you see it? Cos 3 pi plus pi by 6. If we see where the 3 pi is in the negative direction of x-axis, it is pi, it is 3 pi, it is 5 pi, always in the negative direction of x-axis, These are the angles, and we are adding some angles. This means we will land on the third quadrant, and in the third quadrant only tan and cots are positive. So sin, this cos is going to be negative, so minus cos pi by 6, and cos pi by 6 is nothing but cos 30, and the value of cos 30 is nothing but minus root 3 by 2. Minus is there, the value of cos 30 is root 3 by 2. Right, now you can see here. So again we can change this angle, tan pi minus pi by 4. Right, again tan pi is the angle associated with the positive direction of x-axis. This means, and we are subtracting some angles, this means we are going to land on the fourth quadrant, and in the fourth quadrant cos is positive. So this is going to happen, that cos pi by 4, and the value of cos pi by 4 is nothing but 1 by root 2, that we have already learned. I provided you a table, so please remember, please not remember, you always if you practice more, so you can remember the values easily, right? In mathematics, practice is more important than learning, right? You cannot have the rote memorization in mathematics unless you understand the things properly, right? So now we have to deal with this, right? How we will find the value of this? This is to be proved equal to 0. So in LHS, can you see LHS? It is tan, 225, right? So can we write this tan pi 180 plus 45? Can we write this thing? And in cot, in cot it is cot 405 degrees, so we can write this 360 plus 45. Can you see it? Now in this, can you see it? This is if we change this, it is always easy to handle the angles in radian. So it is 765. Can you see it? 765. And if we multiply 2 pi, that is 360. If we multiply 360 by 2, so we will get 720, right? It is there 725. So what can we write? We can write like this, plus tan 720 plus 45. Can you believe it? Now what about this cot 765? So we can write 25. So we can write cot 720 minus 45. This is to be written the given expression. Now we need to apply the rules that we have learned already. So tan 180 plus 45, this means where is the tan, where is the 180? 180 angle is this. Now we are adding something, so we are going to happen in the third quadrant. So tan 45, 180 plus 45, so it is in the third quadrant, and in the third quadrant cot is positive, so it is cot. So cot will remain cot, it is tan is positive, so it is tan 45. I hope and believe you are getting the things properly. Now where is 360? If you turn anti-clockwise in one revolution, you will get 360 degree here, right? So 360 plus 45, this means we are landing over first quadrant. This means what? This means in the first quadrant all is positive, so it is going to happen cos 45 degree. I hope and believe you are getting everything. Now it is it is 4 pi actually. It is 2 pi into 360. This means it is 4 pi. 4 pi means what? 4 pi means, again 4 pi is lying in this direction of positive direction of x-axis. This means 4 pi plus 45. This means we are landing over first quadrant, and in the first quadrant tan is positive, so this is going to be tan 45, isn't it? Right? So it was not cos, it is cot. So just change it to cos into cot. Right? Now come to this. So again it is cot 720 actually is the angle associated with the positive direction of x-axis, and we are subtracting something, so we are going to land on the fourth quadrant, and in the fourth quadrant, you know well that cot is negative, because cos and sin, cos and sec are positive. So this is cot, it is going to be negative, so minus cot 45, right? And you know cot 45, it is always 1. So it is here minus, since the value of cot 45 tan 45 is 1. So it is going to be minus 1 minus 1, because of this minus is there. So you will give you, this will give you 0. So this was the RHS. So this way we need to handle the questions like this. Now let us move to the next question. Can you see this question again? Here it is cos, 24 degree. Now you don't know, if you see the table that I have provided already, you don't know the value of cos 24 degree, and even I don't know. So how will we deal this question? So now again we are going to have LHS. I will write this cos 24 degree as it is. I will write this cos 55 degree as it is. Now I am going to change this, this I am going to change. We can write this cos 125, we can write cos 180 minus 55. If you subtract this, we will get 125. Now for this we are going to write cos 180 degree plus 24, and for this we are going to write plus cos 360 minus 60 degree. Can you believe it? Now again we will write the same. We will write cos 24 degree as it is. We will write cos 55 degree as it is. Now see here, it is cos 120 minus 55, and 180 is the angle associated with the negative direction of x-axis, and we are subtracting something from the x-axis. We will land on the second quadrant, and in the second quadrant cos is negative, so this is going to be negative. So this will happen, it is cos 55 degree. And now what about this? Again we are adding something in 180 degree, so we are going to land on the third quadrant, and in the third quadrant again cos is negative, so it will give you minus cos 24 degree. Now what about you? And we know that this angle will land on the fourth quadrant, and in the fourth quadrant cos is positive. So this will give you cos 60 degree. Can you see it? This and this will cancel each other, and these two will cancel each other, and we will have this cos 60 degree, and from the table you know the value of cos 60, that is 1 by 2. That was to be proved in this question. So again I hope and believe that you are getting the things properly. Now let us move to the next question. Can you see this question again? So just if we know the value of, if we know how to play with the allied angle in the trigonometric ratio, so there is nothing in the question. Only thing is that you just know how to play with the trigonometric ratio, and for that you have to watch the previous video. It is cos 2 pi plus 6. 2 pi is the angle associated with the positive direction of x-axis, and plus x we are landing over first quadrant, and in the first quadrant all is positive, so this means it is cos x. I hope and believe. And this is going to cosec x again for the same logic, right? This is in the first quadrant. In the first quadrant all are positive, so this is cosec x, and in this is pi by 2 plus x. This means pi by 2 plus x. We are going over beyond pi by 2. This means we are landing over second quadrant, and in the second quadrant sine is positive, tan is negative, so this is going to be negative of, no, right? Now it will change in case of four angles, that is pi by 2 plus minus theta and 3 pi by 2 plus minus theta. Tan will change into cot, and cot will change into tan, sine will change into cos, cos will change into sine, sec will change into cosec, cosec will change into sec. Why this happens? For this again I will suggest you the watching the previous video, right? So this is nothing but cot x, right? So I hope and believe. Now what is in the denominator? It is sec pi by 2 plus x. Pi by 2 plus x, we are again going beyond the angle pi by 2. This means we are going to land on the second quadrant, and in the second quadrant sine and cosec are positive. So it is sec, and one more thing I told you, that in pi by 2 plus minus theta and 3 pi by 2 plus minus theta, or let me say in general, the allied angle of vertical axis of y-axis, it always happens that sine will change into cos, cos will change into sine, tan will change into cot, cot will change into tan, sec will change into cosec, cosec will change into sec for the allied angle of vertical axis. Please keep it in mind. So pi by 2 plus x is the allied angle of vertical axis. So it is going to happen that minus cosec x, pi minus, because in the second quadrant sine and cosec positive, since it is sec, and sec will change into cos. So the value of sec is negative, right? Don't confuse that in the second quadrant cosec is positive, so you write this cosec positive. No, we have to decide the sign by looking at this trigonometric ratio. We are supposed to find out the value of sec, and the value of sec is positive. So this means this is minus cosec x, and this is cos x, and this cot plus pi x. Now pi, this means this is pi, and we are landing over in the third quadrant. This means in the third quadrant tan and cot both are positive. Since it is cot, so it is going to be positive. So this minus will cancel this cos x will cancel this cosec, this cosec, this cot, so you will get 1. Right. So this was the question based on allied angles. Right. Now let us move for the one more question. So again, this is the question which we can do it very properly. Again, see here. Can you see this angle? This is 3 pi by 2. This is the allied angle of vertical axis. So this is going to be changed, and 3 pi by 2 minus x, this means 3 pi by 2 is here, and we are subtracting something. So this means we will land on the third quadrant, and in the third quadrant tan cot positive, sec is negative, and sec will change into cosec. So it is going to happen minus cosec x. Now what about this? What about this? We are supposed to have the allied angle of vertical axis or horizontal axis. It is x minus something, right? So first of all, you need to take minus common from the angle. So you will get 5 pi by 2 minus x, and you know where the 5 pi by 2 is. 5 pi by 2 is here, right? I told you earlier, right? Now see here, again it is tan 5 pi by 2. So let us write this as it is, 5 pi by 2 plus x. Again we will do the same thing here. We will take minus common in the angle. So you will get minus 3 pi by 2 minus x. I hope and believe everyone is getting, right? And just at the beginning of this video, I told you, you always apply for minus theta the law of fourth quadrant. What is the fourth quadrant law? It is minus cosec x. In the fourth quadrant, which trigonometric ratios are positive? Cos and sec. So it is sec. So it is going to be positive. So it is going to be pi by 2 minus x. Now there is no change in this. So it is going to be tan 5 pi by 2 plus x. Now, and in the fourth quadrant, tan is negative. So this negative will come this side. So let me write this negative here. So it is going to be tan 3 pi by 2 plus minus x. Minus x. Right. Now just place the values. It is minus cosec x. That is all right. What is the sine pi by 2 minus x? No, it is sec, right? How does it happen? It becomes the sine over the discussion. It is sec. Rest are same. Okay, fine. It is sec. So this is in the first quadrant, because pi by 2 is the angle associated with the positive direction of x-axis, and we are subtracting something. This means we are landing in the first quadrant, and in the first quadrant all are positive, but it changed itself into cos x, so it is going to happen cos x square x, right? Okay, so 5 pi by 2 plus x, this means what? Pi by 2 plus, we are landing here, right? And in the second quadrant, sine and cos positive, it is tan, and tan will become cot, and it is going to be negative, so it will be plus tan x. Why it is cos x square x? I don't know. Now it is 3 pi by 2 minus x. Again, it is in the third quadrant, and in the third quadrant, tan is positive, so tan is positive. So this will give you what? This will give you no. This will change into cot. This is cot x, and also it will give you cot x. So again, that is cot square x and minus cos x square x. Using the identity, again for the identity, I have already discussed in the sum of the video. So you will get this is equal to 1, right? So these were the questions based on the allied angle. And in the next video, what we are going to discuss, we need to find, if we need to find the value of 75 degree or the value of sine 105 degree, right? Such values which can be expressed, for example, if 75 can be expressed like this, 30 plus 45. So if we know what is the value of sine A plus B, this is the angle A plus B, if we know the value of or the formula for sine A plus B, then easily we can calculate, right? So somebody make mistake like this, sine 75, they will write sine 75 30 plus 45, and they will write this thing sine 30 degree plus sine 45 degree. The beginners, they will write this thing. Please do not write this. This is the murder of mathematics. If you write this way, this is the murder of mathematics. So in the next video, next part of the video, we are going to discuss how to get the value of sine 75 degree, sine 105 degree, or sine 15 degree, cos 15 degree. These we are going to discuss in the next part of the video. So please stay tuned in the videos. Thank you for watching.